right. Good Monday evening, South Carolina weather watch. You definitely want to say fantastic Monday and Memorial Day. I am your meteorologist, Jess Peterson, and let's go and talk about the weather for your Monday evening going into your future. Now, and we do have some stuff to talk about tonight. We're obviously going to talk about our unsettled pattern as we go through Friday. We're also going to talk about a wedge condition. If you have no idea what a wedge condition is, pretty much just cooler temperatures, pretty much. The normal that will go through obviously tomorrow, and then Wednesday, Thursday will start to get warmer, and then also locally heavy rainfall that goes through this week, and it's going to be dry this weekend. We're going to talk all about that and even more as we get more into the forecast. But first, if you have not hit the like button or the subscribe button, make sure that you go and do so. Also, make sure that you go and hit the subscribe and share button. Share button. Share it with anybody you know. It could be somebody that you met when you went to the grocery store today. It could be somebody that you work with at your office, or somebody that you work with at or remotely, or anything like that. Just go in and send it to them, give it to them, and they don't even have to live inside of South Carolina either. But with that out the way, we'll talk more about, subscribing and hitting the share button in a second, after we talk with the recorded audience for the people who could unfortunately not be here tonight. So let's go on and talk with them. Good Monday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. Hopefully you want to have a fantastic Monday. I am your meteorologist, Jesse Peterson, and let's go on and talk about the weather for your Monday evening going into your future. You can see that we have rainfall going all throughout the low country of South Carolina, going through from Ridgeland down towards Seabrook, Sheldon, going through Cottageville, Walterboro, going through Somerville and Lincolnville, Latson, going through all the way up there towards Holly Hill and Kingstree as well, even up here. Maybe a couple isolated shower activity going on in Bamberg and Williston, South Carolina, as well as Walhalla and Long Creek, South Carolina, as well up there in the upstate. Those areas are currently receiving rainfall. And if you go into the entire United States, you can see that we do have some precipitation still going on throughout the majority of the U.S., obviously. Like starting off here, rainfall going through Alabama, some thunderstorm activity obviously going through. We also do have some rainfall going on in Tennessee, as well as over here inside of Texas as well. Tornado warnings going on inside of Blanco. I believe that's how you say that, Blanco, Texas, as well. Severe weather pretty much going through all the way from Killeen, Texas, down towards Comfort, Texas, as well. And then also tornado warnings going on up here inside of northern Texas in the Panhandle, as well as Oklahoma, as well. Rainfall going on inside of Montana, Nevada, going into the South Dakota and Iowa and Missouri as well. So overall, just a lot is going to go on in terms of storms as we go through the next 3 days or so. And I'm pretty sure the day 3 outlook, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure 90% of the U.S. Pretty much is going to have, or close to around 90% of the U.S., if not 80 to 90%, land-wise, has the possibility of receiving a thunderstorm. That's on Wednesday. We'll talk about that probably when we talk about the entire United States. But going into our cloud cover right now is showing some cloud cover activity for pretty much most of the state. Again, the upstate, maybe some low clouds right now. In terms of, fog, though, it's not really saying anything in terms of fog inside, but it is saying low clouds. And then also, as we go into our future cloud cover, going to push this forward right here, that cloud cover will continue to build as this is tomorrow morning right here that we're looking at. And you can see that that cloud cover still stays there, even as you get into tomorrow afternoon as well. So that cloud cover will still be there. And as you go into current temperatures, 73 in St. Matthew, 75 in Orangeburg, as well as 73 in Holly Hill, 73 in Moncks Corner, as well as 73 in Somerville, 71 in Onondaga, as well as 71 in Georgetown, 71 in Myrtle Beach, as well as 70 in Conway, 68 in Loris, as well as 70 in North Myrtle Beach, 75 in Charleston, as well as 75 in Beaufort, 73 in Aiken, as well as 71 in Greenwood, 68 in Anderson, as well as 71 up there near Chapin, And we also have 64 up there in Greenville and Pickens, 66 in Clemson, Spartanburg, and 68 in Rock Hill. Going into your low temperatures for tonight, 57 in Greenville, 57 in Spartanburg, as well as 57 in Rock Hill. We also do have around 57 inside of Winsboro, 59 in Camden. We also have 61 in Sumter, 62 inside of Kingstree, as well as 68 in Georgetown, 67 in Myrtle Beach, 70 in Charleston, as well as 72 in Hilton Head Island. As we go on now, let's go on and look at our next risk, which is rainfall. In terms of rainfall, you can see as we go from around 9 p.m. tonight to 8 p.m. tomorrow, you see around 107 to a tenth of an inch for pretty much everyone. Hilton Head Island especially, and then a tenth of an inch to a quarter of an inch for Columbia through Camden, going into, I'm pretty sure those are only two regions, then a quarter of an inch to a half an inch for Florence, Dillon, Cheraw, and even Winsboro and Newberry. Lawrence as well is included, half an inch to an inch for Greenwood, Anderson, Greenville, as well as Rock Hill and Charleston as well. Then also Myrtle Beach, and then an inch to an inch and a half for Moncks Corner, Walterboro, and Georgetown as well. And then there are some regions that will potentially get up to around maybe 2 to 3 inches, like over there inside of near North Myrtle Beach, over there right on the border of Dorchester County and Berkeley County. That is over there near Ridgeville, going up into Harleyville as well, and then also Cottageville as well could also potentially receive 2 inches as well of rainfall. Going into severe weather, we do have a marginal risk of severe weather. This is obviously for right here for damaging winds and most likely the chance for some damaging hail as well. They did just update it. They just shrunk it just a little bit. And it's for obviously those areas that are still receiving rainfall down there in the low country of South Carolina. So 5% chance of damaging winds, 5% chance of damaging hail, low, but not impossible. And then going into Tuesday, tomorrow, we do have a marginal risk of severe weather still for Myrtle Beach going into Georgetown County, Williamsburg County going into the entire low country of South Carolina as well. That's a marginal risk for a very small chance of damaging winds. Everyone has a 5% risk of receiving damaging winds. And then also down there near Hilton Head Island, around in Ridgeland, South Carolina, that's around a 5% chance of damaging hail. And the biggest day, definitely Wednesday, May the 28th, 2025, where pretty much the entire state except for Greenville, Spartanburg, Rock Hill, and pretty much everyone north of that inside of South Carolina it has a marginal risk of severe weather. That is most likely probably going to be for wind and hail again, but the exact probabilities are not out yet. All we know is that there is a 5% chance for some severe weather. Let's go on now and look at excessive rainfall. So starting off here. You see obviously tonight still have that minor risk of flooding for Greenville going all the way down towards the coastal regions as well. So everyone inside this green region has a 5% chance of some flash flooding. Again, very low, but not out the question. Tomorrow is looking like it could be a pretty interesting day. This is Tuesday, May the 27th. Tomorrow, slight risk of excessive rainfall for pretty much the entire low country of South Carolina, going through Conway and Myrtle Beach as well. This is for a 15% risk of seeing some flash flooding, and then everyone else inside the state has a 5% risk of seeing flash flooding. Again, the yellow, that's pretty much just scattered, and then the green is isolated. And as we go into day 3, that pretty much, wraps it up until we get to around Friday. Friday, the entire state has a chance for some minor flooding as you go into Friday as well. So we are right now nowhere close to being done with this active period, obviously, as you can see. And so pretty much I think that we definitely need to still be weather aware as we go through this week, for sure. And I've been saying that ever since probably late last week, that we've been inside this active period and that we're still going to have to watch out, even when I talked about it last night as well. So let's go on now and look at our next area, which is our short-term models, and then we'll look at the long-term. But starting off tonight, 9 p.m., obviously this is a lot different. We're actually going to go right here, see if we can here we go. So pretty much, see right here at 9 p.m., this is pretty much close to what's going on right now. Again, not exact, but pretty much pretty accurate. As you go into around midnight to around 1 a.m., you can start to see that it really starts to kind of wind down a little bit, but still, rain and downpour activity is still going on. Even as you go through around to around 3 to 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, the upstate getting slammed with rainfall going through that time frame, and then just isolated to scattered shower and a downpour going through the low country and the PD region as well. That's for around 7 o'clock in the morning. So getting up, probably going to work, even or just getting up in general to go out, go outside, get some outside work done. Whatever you do on your regular Tuesday morning, or if you just get up just to get up and you don't have anything to do tomorrow. But I mean, still, as you go into around 9 a.m., so even if you wake up later, still that rainfall still is going to be going on. You go to around 1 p.m. as well. Rainfall is still going on throughout the entire state, but mainly scattered. So this rainfall is not going to stop, and we talked about it last night. And it's going to be pretty much an everyday occurrence of just scattered to widespread shower and downpour and thunderstorm activity as we go into, obviously, probably on Friday as well. Now, obviously, that can change, but, that's just what the model said earlier. We're going to talk about the long term now, actually. So we're going to go a bit more into the future. So this is even past. Like tomorrow afternoon. This goes into like tomorrow evening now. That there goes that thunderstorm activity even more. And as you push forward even into 1 a.m. on May the 28th, this is Wednesday right here, like early Wednesday morning. Rainfall still pushing through the low country, still going through the entire state. And then finally we see a little bit of a break, but still isolated to scattered shower and thunderstorm activity. So again, just proving my point. There's going to be pretty much a chance of rain every single day this week. And if we go even further into the future, May the 29th and the 30th, you can see it right there. As you get more into the future, it's the 31st. Finally, it starts to move off, but this is the last day of the week. So I think by the time we get to around Saturday, which I said probably will end on Friday, but Saturday is when I think we'll probably get out of that, and we'll start to get a lot more drier, even as you go through early June, going into June the 7th, June the 8th. But once you get to around June the 8th, that's when stuff gets a lot trickier, and it's just way too early to call out exactly what's going to happen. So let's go on now and talk about the crazy score. Since we talked about our long-term future, we talked about the week and what each day could look like and how early June could look like as well. Let's go on and talk about the crazy score. If you have no idea what the crazy score is, the score that I use to see how crazy the weather is inside of South Carolina. Not made by me. It's completely automated. So I do not make this at all. Sometimes I don't agree with it. Sometimes I do agree with it. And tonight it's at a 68. Obviously, scattered showers and a few thunderstorms remain possible. Some of them, maybe one could be severe. One or two of them could be severe. Also, heavier rain possible late tonight due to pretty much a meteorological term called an isentropic lift atop the wedge. Which we talked about a wedge. If you have no idea what a wedge is, it's pretty much just cooler temperatures, as well as low clouds as well. So pretty much just that dreary feeling, pretty much is what you could call a wedge. And so that's all gonna cause some heavier rain possible late tonight. And then also we talked about our low temperatures as well. And depending on how the wedge front, how it is positioned. That can change the low temperatures for tonight. But that's it there in terms of our crazy score. Let's go on and look at the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. Trail says, hi, Joseph, hello to you. Thad says, good evening, Joseph. I hope you had a good weekend. I trust all is well. The weather here today was quite pleasant. Looks like the storm is headed our way at the moment. I sure hope it's a good one. It definitely is. We'll talk about San Antonio in just a second. Mr. Oliver says, good evening. Cloudy, muggy day here, and now a rainy evening. Lots of bugs and gnats are outside, and my pond is replenished again with no visible shoreline. I would love to see our drought numbers. Drought has not been updated since last week, Thursday. Obviously, drought is only updated once a week, and that is on Thursday. So we're not going to be able to know that until Thursday. Mr. Anthony says, "Good evening, JP. Good evening to you, Mr. And Mr. Morton says, "Hello, everyone. Hello to you as well." And I believe that is about it. So let's go on and talk about, since we're here, talk about San Antonio and Raleigh and Philadelphia. Since we just talked about, the storms going near San Antonio, you can see right here on the radar, San Antonio is under a tornado watch. It pretty much a pretty big turn. Just yesterday, I believe y'all were under a marginal risk of severe weather, and they upgraded y'all to a slight risk today. So obviously, I didn't catch it because they did it this morning or this afternoon. And you guys actually have a pretty good chance of receiving some severe weather. You can see it right here on my screen, as these severe storms are just to your north, and you have these downpours and thunderstorms right here that seems to be moving kind of over to your east. But that's pretty much it in terms of that. I'm talking about just the forecast in general. Lows tonight, 71. High temperatures tomorrow, 92. Low temperatures tomorrow night, 72. Severe thunderstorms are possible tonight and tomorrow, as well as tomorrow night. So I'm definitely going to have to watch for some severe thunderstorms as you go into tonight and tomorrow. Now, what exactly? What exactly are the hazards, you may be asking? Overall, today, under a slight risk of severe weather, that is for actually an enhanced risk of severe weather, you have a 5% risk of seeing a tornado, which means scattered tornadoes are expected. You also have a 15% risk of seeing damaging winds, which means scattered damaging wind gusts are likely, and also severe hail as well. So some potential 2-inch in diameter hail and up is going to be possible, as well as you're in that 30% risk. So that's why you're inside that enhanced risk, that orange risk, because you have a 30% risk of seeing some damaging hail, which is a pretty big shot. That's a pretty big shot. That's in the numerous category. As you go into tomorrow as well, also inside of a slight risk, a 2% chance of tornadoes, 15% chance of damaging winds, and then a 15% hatch risk of damaging hail. So, and then also a 10% risk of receiving 2-inch in diameter hail if possible. 2-inch in diameter hail and up on tomorrow as well, and then a marginal risk for Wednesday. So overall, that's definitely going to help your drought for sure. Now, we don't hope for any damage, but it definitely will help the drought. Raleigh being the next location, even though we'll talk about excessive rainfall in a second. Low temperatures tonight, 57. High temperatures tomorrow, 63. Low temperatures tomorrow night, 61. Rain is expected tomorrow and tomorrow night, but a chance of rain just tonight. In terms of severe weather, no severe weather is expected for Raleigh. Going back to excessive rainfall for San Antonio, do have a slight risk, so some scattered flash flooding is expected tonight, tomorrow as well. Nothing for Wednesday. Thursday, some minor flooding is expected on Thursday if you're in some low-lying area. And then for Raleigh, the only threat for any sort of minor flooding is Tuesday and Friday. Philadelphia is the last region. Low temperatures tonight, 53. High temperatures tomorrow, 76. Low temperatures tomorrow night at 56. And Philadelphia definitely is the calmest of the three regions, as there's no excessive rainfall expected and no severe weather. So now let's go on and look and see what's going on throughout the entire United States. News-wise, weather news-wise. Says multiple rounds of thunderstorms are forecast to impact portions of the southern plains, mid-south, and Tennessee valleys through Memorial Day. Severe thunderstorms may produce large hail, severe wind gusts, and a few tornadoes as well. Excessive rainfall is also likely and may result in scattered to numerous instances of flash flooding as well. So we do have, obviously, that chance for numerous, like it says, scattered to numerous excessive rainfall reports and flash flooding reports as you go into today. As well, and that will continue through. I did want to show this right here because this was interesting. Here we go, day 3. This is on Wednesday right here. You can see pretty much the entire U.S., or at least close, around 80 to 90% of the entire United States has a chance for seeing a thunderstorm on Wednesday. So, I mean, you can see a lot of a lot of the U.S. pretty much now. I know like a lot of big cities are kept out of it, but in terms of land wise, pretty much you can see the green, the dark green, including us as well, and then also the yellow as well. This is all a chance for a thunderstorm, but it seems like the it's kind of keeping the big cities out like a lot, like Chicago, New York City, going into like Las Vegas, Los Angeles as well. But there are still a lot of big cities included in it as well. But that's pretty much it. That I just what I wanted to show was kind of interesting to see. And that's gonna wrap this up for tonight. Let me see how many people we have watching. We've had 16 people tune in. I have no idea why we only have only 6 likes. 10 people tuned in and did not hit the like button at all. If you have not hit the like button yet, make sure you go and do so. Hit the share button as well. And hit the subscribe button as well. We're at 472 subscribers, trying to get to 500. And if you want to comment inside the chat, you also have to hit the subscribe button, because the chat has been switched, obviously, to subscriber only mode. And so, I can see who is actually subscribed by them just typing inside the chat. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say there. And I will be back tomorrow morning with your Monday. No, wow, I'm a bit behind. I keep on thinking it's Sunday because I was off today. But I will be back with your Tuesday, not Monday, Tuesday morning forecast update. Everyone have a fantastic rest of your Monday and Memorial Day.